Hi, this is the final response for Chapter 11. And as I began to plan for this video, I watched your videos and looked through the chapter one last time in terms of the possibility that I could be in a building as an administrator next year, and just thought through where I've come from and what I've learned from you in this book. So I began by thinking about what I like about competency-based standards. And I think what I like the most is this. It doesn't involve teaching and moving on and just accepting failure, which is what I've seen so much of the time in education. It instead continues to provide students with the opportunity to master concepts. Evaluating is not just a one and done. When a student's ready to be evaluated, they actually can be because they think they can master it. For so long in education, we've had teachers that are just sit and get teachers. And if you don't get it, it's your fault. I gave it to you. You should have gotten it. If not, you should have studied. And here's the test. Oh, you didn't pass? Well, we're moving on. Educators have got to come on board with a growth mindset and stop being in a stuck, fixed mindset. They've got to understand that students need the opportunities to continue to grow so that they are prepared for the next unit or they are prepared for the next class. Sarah, you talked about the need for converting standards reference criteria to grades so that our parents, have ease of mind. I think that's definitely true. At the high school level, parents want grades because it's associated with GPAs, and they want to make sure that their students can compete with everyone else. So shifting that would be very difficult if they were just getting competency-based grades. So converting it to standards reference, or converting that standards reference to a grade would be very important. But I know in our elementary schools, we've successfully had competency-based report cards for a while. It's going well, and the parents enjoy seeing what it is that the students are capable of and what they have left to learn. Teaching the teachers to self-audit is going to be very important. I know one of you talked about that, and evaluating themselves with a developmental scale is important. And what I like about the idea of that is that they have self-reflection, which some teachers don't do. They don't think about what they have done and the impact that what they've done has had on students. And it also gives them the opportunity to use a proficiency scale and learn from it themselves as they begin to implement those in their classroom. Billy, you talked about how much teachers dislike submitting lesson plans. And I thought that was kind of funny because just this last week, I heard from a teacher who was so disgruntled about having to submit her daily lesson plans. And the whole point of it was she wanted to do unit plans, and she needed the time to spend on actually planning the lesson more than she did the daily lesson plan. And she was just not happy about having to submit them, mainly because she never got any feedback on what she submitted. But I would say this at the same time, teachers need the accountability of the plan. So there has to be some sort of happy medium where they still have time to plan the actual lesson and the implementation of the lesson, not just putting it in the writing. Like Casey, evaluating teachers for what they are best at teaching is so important, and then using them to train everyone else or actually be the one that teaches all the students. Man, that would be an ideal situation, but I cannot imagine the scheduling nightmare in a building with 100 teachers. Some of you may be in that situation. I know I'm working with one high school right now, and we're just thinking through how to create a master schedule that involves 100 teachers, 9th through 12th grade, implementing academies on an ABC block schedule where on A days we want their PLCs to meet, and B days we want teaming to happen. And we're a little crazy with all of that right now. I can't imagine adding in the very necessary component of using teachers to teach what they're awesome at teaching so that we can see success of all students. I definitely feel like it's a need. So I want to end with this. A couple weeks ago I was in Nashville and I heard an administrator say, "Slow is smooth and smooth is fast." I have no idea where that quote came from, but it's really stuck with me, because being intentional with every step as we move to implementation of competency-based standards, and ensuring that our teachers and students and parents understand the transition is so important, and they need to understand the concepts that are going to be associated with grading. All of this we need to be very intentional about, and just remember that slow moving and being intentional and teaching and training before everyone is ready will help our efforts to be pushed through without being fought, without a big fight on our hands, which would lead to this quote coming true: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. If we're intentional and people are trained, inevitably that slowness becomes a fast process because it's not halted. So you guys have a great evening. I've enjoyed listening to you this semester, and I don't know if we'll have another discussion board assigned, but I appreciate everything that I was able to learn from you.